Hey everyone, good to see you. Thanks for checking the channel out. Thanks for checking this video out. Really do appreciate it. More Springsteen coming your way. We're going to go back to the Tunnel of Love album, Brilliant Disguise. Brilliant song, really. That whole album was such a departure from the big stadium atmosphere of Born in the USA, especially when it went live. This was like a left turn I don't think a lot of people saw coming, because they were expecting Born in the USA Part 2. So this was a great deviation off of that. I've already done a couple lessons on my channel for Tunnel of Love songs. I've done One Step Up, and I've done Ain't Got You. So definitely, check it out. I think it's Ain't Got You. Yeah, Ain't Got You. I'll have to double check that now. Pretty sure that's what it is. But we're going to do Brilliant Disguise right now. So really kind of simple-ish, if you want to call it that. Key of A, with some suspended variations of the A. Same thing with the E. And then in the the bridge is probably one of the tougher parts, because it doesn't really flow one right after the other as if you think it might. But it's pretty simple in terms of the chords itself. So let's not think about it too much. Let's jump into it. But again, thank you for checking everything out here. Please like, subscribe, hit the bells, the buttons, all that good stuff. Website is in the works right now. If it hasn't already been done, soon it will be done. Some cool things, some things about me, some things about the gear, that sort of thing. And then also I'm in the process of putting together like a little online course for mainly not necessarily the song tutorials, but more for just actual lessons itself. So I'll keep you posted on that. But again, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. But I will keep you apprised of how that's going. But let's jump into the song right now. Brilliant Disguise by Springsteen. All right, Brilliant Disguise by Bruce Springsteen. Great tune, great album. I mean, Tunnel of Love was an incredible album, I thought. Such a departure from what Born in the USA was. So some great music, some great acoustic tunes. I've done a couple already. The links are up top. I've done, I think, 2 already. I've done One Step Up, and I've done Ain't Got You. I had to think about that. Anyway, we're doing Brilliant Disguise here. So pretty much we're in the key of A. Just a kind of bit of a... trying to think the right word to say here, just in terms of a fine print sort of thing for this tune. I tend to play it a little bit different, not differently, but I think I play a little bit more in terms of some embellishments on the guitar, especially the acoustic guitar. But when you listen to the album, you listen to the studio version, I think there's a little bit less going on in some of the guitar parts, because other parts of the song are carrying the melody. So I tend to put the melody in this part of in the song, I should say, mainly in the bridge. And you might hear that difference, but it's the same chord structure, the same roots, all that. I kind of just embellish them a little bit to carry the rhythm and the melody over that part of the song. Okay, enough about that. You want to learn the song, let's get into it. Key of A, right? So keep in mind, you're going to be using not only strumming, but you've got to think of it as almost like a little bit of percussion as well, because you don't... What I tend to do is I kind of just... So what I'm doing there is I'm kind of chugging, and I just release just enough to give it the ring some room there to breathe a little bit, okay? So I guess in reality what we're doing here is we're kind of doing some quick hits, quick strums. You're not really ringing it out. I'm kind of doing... And then in between, I'm kind of giving it some percussion. Oops. So all that is based around the A chord, okay? Now, I've seen people play the A chord different ways. You can bar it, obviously. I was always taught to learn how to play this using these 3 fingers and not this one, okay? I think it's worked well for me. I think I prefer that method. Now, again, you could play the 3 this way. I think it's a little bit harder moving some things around when you're using suspended chords. That's just me, though. Because what I'm doing here is I've got the A sus2. I go to the suspended 4. Back to the A. So your pinky's getting the workout here, and it just kind of, I think it just, for me, my personal preference here is this pinky is better than using it this way. That's just me though. So that's your intro. That's the first part of the verse. Right? Can't even think of the lyrics right now, but you know that's how it is. Now I'm trying to think how this song starts on the lyrics. Not that it's important, but it'll come to me probably later on. Anyway, A. Then there is a change in the progression. We're going to go to E, okay? So it's going to be, you're actually start, just like you have the A here, for an A major, we're going to just take everything and move it up one string to the E shape, but now it's an E suspended 4. Not an E, but a suspended 4. You go to the E second. That probably is one of the hardest part, at least, again, this is how I hear it. So what you're doing here is from the A, you're going to the E suspended 4, right? To an E. And then what you're doing is you're keeping these in place, these two fingers right here, on the A string and the I guess it's the G string, right? But my pinky is stretching to the F sharp on the D string 4th fret. Bit of a stretch there. If you can't do it, just hold the E. I think it works no matter what. But again, what I'm playing is so again, E suspended 4th, E, this stretch, which I guess makes it like an E2 something, because you're hitting the second of the intervals, you know, which is an F sharp if you're looking at the key of E, right? So okay, so there's your intro, your verse for the most part. Chorus, we're gonna kind of get into a bar chord right away, an F sharp minor. So when you look at me, to an A, for whatever reason I bar the A, that's just how I do it. To the D, back to the A. And I guess you can strum. I kind of just hit it. Again, listen to the song, whatever works for you. But this is how I've done it on the acoustic. If I'm playing full band, which I've done in the past, I think I'm picking more of an arpeggiated type. But those 4 chords, F sharp minor, A, D, and the A, 2 times. Third time, a little bit different. You're gonna start on that F sharp minor again, to the A, to the E. Okay, you can hear the difference already. So from this to this, that F sharp right there is your turnaround into the sky. And I sometimes throw in the suspended. And I try to hit those notes one by one in each time I do it. So strum it, D, pick, strum, pick, strum, pick. Back to your main rhythm. Continue that. Do that a little bit. You go back to the change to the E. All right, that continues. We're going into the chorus again. Two times, the third time a little different. Try that again. Here we go. My brain was all over the place on that one. One more time, just so you understand it, okay? how to change. And again, I embellish these things. Again, if you're doing it solo acoustic, you do whatever you want, because every little thing is going to kind of just help that melody as you go along here. Now, we go into the bridge. Again, certain songs are super easy for me. Certain parts of songs are super easy for me. This bridge kills me no matter. I've always had to have some cheat sheets in front of me, even playing live, because, again, as I mentioned, when you're playing with a band, the band tends to carry the melody a little bit differently than if you were just playing it solo acoustic. So I'm going to play this as if I'm carrying that melody just on the acoustic guitar, right? So how does it start? Well, we're going to start on the E area, okay? Okay, so again, coming out of the chorus. Let's just do coming out of the chorus. We go into the A. And look at me, baby, struggling to do everything. Right, so you're on that E. Struggling to do everything right. When you get to the part and then it all falls apart, we're going to the D. Okay, we haven't really done a whole lot with that D. So what is it there? So going to a D. Bit of an odd chord, I think. At least this is how I've learned to play it a long time ago. I think it's still in the D family because you're using the open D string. What we're going to do is, if you can see this, my index finger is going to stay right where it's been when I play a D chord. But really what I'm doing is I'm actually taking an A suspended 2, if you want to look at it this way, and I'm just dropping it a string. Okay, so let's just say if this is a suspended 2, right? All I'm doing is taking everything and dropping it a string. So I guess when I do play it, I kind of do this, if you can see this. I go from the D. So really, you got your E string is open, B on the 2nd fret, G on the 2nd fret, open on the D, okay? So I guess what I'm doing is I'm just taking this and putting my middle finger there. Okay, but it's still in the D family. That open D is still my root, okay? So if we tip it from the top again. Back to the E. Now we go to the D. Back to the A. And we end on the E just like we started. I tend to play this a little bit differently. I think I kind of put a suspended 4th in there typically. So I think what I typically do there is I actually just play it like I would within the chorus, okay? So I will play that bridge a little slower now, but all in one piece, just to kind of, again, there's so many changes, and it doesn't always flow like, hey, if you're playing a, right, it doesn't flow like that. You're kind of all over the place. So let's do it together, real slow. That's about as slow as I can play it for you, so it still makes sense, but that was all there. So, you know, good thing about video, you can stop, pause, rewind, all that great stuff. So, but that's it right there, and you're going to come out of it back into the verse. All right. So it continues, and you go into the chorus again. messed that up, but you right? Back to so, but if you're doing an acoustic, make it your own, it'll sound great. And then it just kind of the outro just fades. That's all it is on the way out. So somewhat of an easy song, Brilliant Disguise, but there's some pieces in there that could make it a bit tricky. But again, if you're gonna make it your own, you make it your own. That's kind of the cool thing about just, solo acoustic. You can do whatever you want, and it's gonna sound like you meant to do it. So as long as you're in the right key. But hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Great tune, as I mentioned. There's some links. I've got some links below, links, the buttons up here that show you some of the other Tunnel of Love songs I've got going on, and the links below in the description with all the other Springsteen tunes that I've done lately. So check them out. Questions, requests, all that good stuff, concerns, reach out to me. Email address is below. Look forward to hearing from you. Take it easy. Thanks. Hey everyone, good to see you again. Thanks for checking the channel out. Really do appreciate it. Wanted to go back to the 70s, mid-early 70s, I think it was. Another one from Springsteen, a deep cut, really. Actually, it was on the box set from '98 called Tracks. I believe it was a Born to Run outtake or right around that time. So we'll call it the Born to Run era. Same time, Thundercrack, I think, was written. Seaside Bar Song, Zero and Blind Terry, all those epics he was working on. And this one kind of, I think, fell through the cracks. I think it was a really good tune. It's called Linda, Let Me Be the One. Very simple patterns. It's a consistent strumming pattern. And I think that's kind of the vibe of the song, especially if you're going to do it on the acoustic guitar solo. Really like it, really cool. Again, key of G. There's the key change for the sax solo where it goes to E. And I think it was pretty common. Maybe, I don't know. I'm assuming as I dive more into some of these songs and it goes from the key of G to the sax solo, the key usually changes to around E. So that's what happens in this tune. So what we'll do is let's dive in deep, take a look at this tune. I do want to ask if you do like the channel, if you do like the videos, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. I've got a lot of content coming out on a regular basis, and I will continue to do so. If you have any questions or concerns, you've got the comments below. Any requests, let me know. But for now, let's dive into this one. Linda, Let Me Be the One by Springsteen. Okay, so let's get right into this one. Great song. One of my favorite songs on disc 1 of Tracks. Maybe the whole collection, really, because it's 4 discs. Linda, Let Me Be the One. This one kind of flew under the radar, I think. I don't know how much he played it early on in the career. Again, this is going back to 74, 75, I think, around that time frame. So I don't really remember how much it was played in on the Born to Run tour, or even, the Wild and the Innocent tour back in probably 74-ish, I guess. And I think he might have played it occasionally on some, the more recent tours in the last 10 years. And if he did play it, it was, once in a while here and there max, but I don't remember seeing a whole lot of it. I could be wrong though, and I'm sure somebody will tell me, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, again, key of G, you're using the relative minor of E minor over the course of the track, and then there's a sax solo which goes up to E major. So that's basically how it goes. So I'll walk you through it. Really straightforward. I think the key to this song is that the strumming pattern makes all the difference in the world. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 constant, like 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, so keep that in mind when it comes to playing this. For the intro and for the chorus, I'm playing my G chord differently than a traditional G, and I'll show you why. I'm taking my middle finger, and that's going to be on the 3rd fret, 6th string, okay? And I'm taking my ring finger, and I'm putting it on the same fret on the high E, okay? So that's my G chord. And my index finger and my pinky aren't doing anything. So it's a very open G chord right there, okay? Because that B is ringing out, okay? As opposed to... So we want that B ringing out because that kind of makes part of the sound here. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So, and the reason I'm playing the G chord this way is what I'm going to show you now. The intro is 4 chords basically. The first 2 are both in the G family. You got a G. And then what I'm doing is for the next chord, I'm releasing my ring finger. So it's strictly like this. And I'm putting my index finger on the first string 2nd fret. If you can see that, okay? So it's first it's like this, and then I'm moving it here, okay? I do it that way because it's the only way for me to make that change. If doing it this way, I guess you can do it that way too, but for me, it was always when I learned this, making that, looks like I'm giving you the bird, but I'm not, I apologize. Okay. All right, and then the other 2 chords are C and D. So here's how the intro goes. Again, so if I can get that right, again, G. That's your intro. And as far as this G here, whatever it's called, I don't really know what the proper name of it is. So if anybody knows, please let me know. I've seen G6 sometimes when I've seen this chord played, or a G2. So it's G with it's G with the F sharp, but it's, instead of it being up here, it's here. So again, the intro. Play that twice, okay? From there, we're going into the verse. The verse, the first go around with the verse is G, C, D, and G. Okay? From there, it's going to be E minor. Next time around, it's again E minor, to a C, D, and then back to the E minor one more time, A minor, D for 2, let's hold it. All right, so let's play that together so you can see how that went. All right, so we come out of the intro, let's go into the verse. One time. It's twice. It's the 3rd time. Here's the final one. See how that strumming kind of makes the song right there as far as just the timing. Now, so after the verse, we're going right back into the chorus, which is the intro. And there you go. Okay, so now we've got the intro, you've got your verse, and you've got your chorus. Okay? After the chorus the first time around, the verse is the same after that. The chorus is the same after that. From there, you're going to the sax solo. So everything's going to be, it's going to modulate, and it's going to the key of E. So it's going to be E for 2 counts, A, and B. And that progression you're going to play twice. More time, a 2nd time I should say. And then it turns around. A, B, again, E, E, A, B, and then 2 chords and turn it around. C, there's your solo, and then goes right back into the intro, basically. All right, and then go back into the third verse, which we've gone over the verse already a couple times, and the chorus, and you're out. So it's a very repetitive song. This is one of those songs where, for me, how I learned it was that there is a lot of, I guess, blocks of how these chords are put together and how they're, again, going back to the verse, it was G, C, D, and G. Okay, going back, we're changing just 2 chords: E, E minor, A minor, keeping the D and G. Okay, E minor again, but now changing it back to the C, to the D and the G. E minor again, A minor again, and then the D for 2 counts. Okay, so great tune. I enjoy it a lot. It's one of those. It is one of the simple ones, I think. If you kind of know your basic open chords and you can play in a couple different keys, definitely worth giving it a shot. If you, especially if you do know the song, I think it's a fun one to play. Okay, so there you have it. As I mentioned, pretty straightforward. Key of G, relative minor is E minor, which you use a lot in this song, just to give it some accents and some dynamics. And then the sax solo goes to the key of E, which I showed you. So again, really do appreciate you checking the channel out, checking the videos out. I'm finally over 100 subscribers, so I really do appreciate everyone who's watching and following along here. Again, if you have any requests, let me know. But please like, subscribe, hit the bell. Content is always coming out, and I'll see you next time. All right, thank you for checking this video out. Appreciate it very much. I'm Rich Philippone. This is 6 String Fun. Wanted to kind of, give you another Springsteen song. I think it's somewhat easy. Off the Rising album, the song is called Waiting on a Sunny Day. Seems pretty straightforward. Starts off in the key of C. However, it does modulate a couple times. It'll go from the key of C, then there's kind of like a break in the middle of the song, but it'll go to D, goes back to the C, and then at the sax solo at the end, it goes to an E. So the patterns are the same. You're just changing the key basically throughout the song. So so you've got to be able to play, as I played before, the C, the A minor, the F, and the G. And then when it modulates the first time to D, it's going to be D, your B minor, your G, and your D thrown in there. And then for the E, again, the key of E, E, C sharp minor, A, and B is in there as well. So if you know those chords, you could probably pull this off easily. So why don't we take a closer look at this one? Okay, so let's take a closer look at Waiting on a Sunny Day by Bruce Springsteen. Again, this is off the Rising album. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you know the chords I mentioned before, C, A minor, F, G, but it's also going to modulate a couple times. And when it changes the key, it's going to go to D, B minor. You got an A in there now. There's E. And then when it changes to E, you've got a C sharp minor, and then there's a B at one point. So if you know those chords, you should be in good shape. And it's the same strumming pattern for the most part, the same intervals mainly. So you probably write out a chord chart, and it'll all fall into line. So, but it starts off in C, right? So really, what we're going to do, it's going to be from C, and that's the pattern basically. All right, so it's going to go from C to A minor to F, back to the C, and then it resolves on the G. So all together. pattern for the entire song, if you know that. So if you can play that, you're in good shape. So that's starting in the key of C. That'll be your intro, your verse, your chorus. I think it's the second verse and the second chorus. And right around that time, the key is going to shift. And it's not really a solo. I guess it's just kind of like a, I don't know, just like another layer of music in there. It might be more on the violin. Some of the strings are in there. But it goes up to D. Okay, you're only going to play that one time. So again, it's going to be D. It's a B minor. All right, to a G. Back to that D. To an A. All right, so all together. From there, it's kind of a turnaround with two chords, I think it is. So after that A, it's going to go to E. So it's going from E to G, and I'm holding that G because it kind of the music starts to climb, and then it'll go back into the original key, which is C. Right, so to go through that, and at the very end of the song is the sax solo. And the sax solo, it goes up to E at that point. Okay? So during that solo, and I think it's played once or twice total, but it's not that long. Definitely twice, and those chords are E, C sharp minor, to an A, to an E, to a B. Okay, you're gonna play that twice. On the second time, it's the same thing. Strum out the E one big time. There you have it. Pretty straightforward. Waiting on a Sunny Day by Bruce Springsteen off of the Rising album. Give it a shot. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Got some cards up top for some other Springsteen things that I've done, will be doing. Check them out. But some good music just kind of strum along to, campfire, sing-alongs, that sort of thing. Simple. You can do it with an acoustic guitar. You and one other people, maybe. Actually, maybe if you got somebody who can play harmonica, if you got a harmonica in the key of C, D, and E, you can play at any one of those locations, and it'll probably sound pretty good. All right, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Hey everyone, good to see you again. Thanks for checking the video out. Really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you like the channel, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment below. Love to kind of keep the interaction, between you and me going as often as we can. Going to go back into, I guess it's kind of another deep cut by Springsteen. If you're Springsteen fan and you kind of followed the band, and you, especially in '95 with the greatest hits and the whole Blood Brothers, I guess was it a DVD back then? Maybe it was, but like a VHS. He got the band back together, and he really teased us, I think, with this song in the video, maybe a little bit making the greatest hits. This one's called Back in Your Arms Again. When I heard it for the first time, when that documentary was on, really great. It really kind of brought back the whole E Street Band vibe. And then Greatest Hits came out, and he made a left turn and released The Ghost of Tom Joad. And it was like another 3 years after that, he finally got back together with the E Street Band. But this tune, Back in Your Arms Again, I thought was a really great indicator of what they still had in the tank at that time. And powerful song, I thought, in terms of just, it was minimal, but it really hit you hard in terms of just how the instruments were, I guess, systematically placed and what he had everybody do, so it was great. So I wanted to go over this one on the acoustic guitar. Pretty straightforward. It's the key of C, and you're using, the tonic, which is C, F, G, the A minor. Pretty straightforward. I think for the pre-chorus and the chorus, it's just very similar. You're just kind of rearranging a few things here and there, but nothing more than that. So again, without taking up too much time here, just talking upon talking, let's jump right into it. I'll show you how I do this. Okie doke. So Back in Your Arms Again from the whole Blood Brothers documentary back in '95 during the Greatest Hits era. That album. It was funny. He had 4 newish tracks on that Greatest Hits album, and not one of them was this one. It was Murder Incorporated. It was This Hard Land. Drawing a blank on the other ones for some reason, though. It was like 4 new ones, I thought. So anyway, Back in Your Arms Again. This one ended up coming out on the track CD, tracks box set, I guess. So let's get into this. Pretty straightforward. The main intro and the verse is a C, the G, A, and then the F. Now you'll see I play this F a lot, especially when I'm going over Springsteen tunes. Very rarely is he playing a full bar. Even though it probably sounds a lot better, he plays this F this way a lot. It might even just be a triad. I think he's doing it just for efficiency, so that way, the hands don't have to move a whole lot. So he's kind of staying right in that position instead of moving around a lot. So, but for the intro. So again, 4 chords, C, G, A minor, and the F. See, I'm doing some hammers and pulls. I'm just making this my own as I do it. Again, because it's the song on the album, organ, piano, a lot of, it's kind of just like the atmosphere that's building. So make it your own. And then the saxophone comes in later on, I guess, towards the end, I think at the outro. But it just kind of builds. So that's going to be your intro, and that's also going to be your verse. It's the same chords. Play that. So the intro is going to be done 3 times. The verse is done twice. And you're going to go into the pre-chorus, which is 2 chords, and that's played 3 times. That's just the F and the G. That's it. So the pre-chorus of those 2 chords, F and G, right? When you play that 3 times around, you go back, you're going to go into the chorus, which is the same as the verse. The same 4 chords. Back in your arms. Back in your arms again. Right? You're going to play that twice. Okay, once you go through it twice, you repeat everything all over again. You're going to do your verse, you're going to do your pre-chorus, you're going to do your chorus, which I think it's going to be different now. The first chorus is done twice, as far as those 4 chords. You're going to play that twice in the chorus the first time, and then for the second time around, you're going to play the chorus 4 times. Okay? From there, you're going into the bridge. Basically the same chords, just arranged a little bit differently. That's all. So it's going to be an F to a G, A minor, back to an F, and then the second time around it's going to be F to a G, A minor. Here's a different part. We're going back to a G. So all together. So from there, you're coming out of that bridge, you're going into the verse again. All stuff we've just gone over. So again, the bridge itself is going to be F, G, A minor, F. That's the first time around. Second time around, F, G, A minor, all the same, except that fourth chord, which is now your G, and that's the turnaround to get you back into the verse, which is everything we just went over basically. The outro is basically just a chorus repeated over and over again. I think there's a saxophone solo. I'm pretty sure there is. And it just, you can take that out as long as you want, basically. So, again, that's really the bones of the song right there. So take a listen to it if you haven't. It's a great tune. Let me know if you have any questions, though, because that's how I go about playing this song by Springsteen, Back in Your Arms Again. All right, there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Back in Your Arms Again by Springsteen. This was actually off of the Tracks box set, so you could always find it there. Basic chords, C, F, G, A minor, and then just rearranging some things here and there just to, give it some dynamics. But that's the song right there. So hopefully it helped you out. Again, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Trying to get some content out, a couple of videos every week. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.